What's up, Phil411? Hey, Noah. How you guys doing? What's everyone up to? You guys having a good day so far? For some, well, I'm glad I'm slightly tolerable. That's actually my goal, is not to be a good streamer. It's actually just to suck less than other people, right? Because, don't want to set the bar too high. Helvin, how are you, bud? Big Show, what's good? Skimp, Eagles, how are you, Eagles? I hope you guys, Virtual Rambo, what's up? Seraph, great one. Great, is that you? With a name change? I don't know. What's up, Jack? How you doing, bud? Hope you guys are having a good Master Chief. I love it, Gungi. How you doing, Gungi? You're trying to figure out who you want to take up for talent up next week? That's a good thing to figure out. What's up, Steven Randall? How you guys doing? For those that don't know, gonna be doing something new today? No, one and only? Okay. We're gonna start doing on Tuesdays, when we have time, so like maybe not Tuesday of a new MLC, but I'm calling it re-preview, where we take a look at cards that have had either plates or trainers come out that really change them. And so like Dvon Dudley is a great one. He's a great example of why I want to do this and the type of people I want to look for. Because Howdy completely changes him, as well as the Punk plate. That's like two different items. He's actually better now than when he released, for example. So, but this is the first one, so I just picked Dvon because he gives an example of what I'm going for with this. But at the end of the stream today, everyone that's here will kind of discuss, and you guys can give me some names of people you want to see re-previewed, and I'll maybe narrow that down and then throw them up for a vote, and the one that wins is who we'll do next week. So you guys will get to determine who we're re-previewing, like within reason. The reason I'm going to have you throw it out and kind of filter through the names is there's going to be a lot of people wanting troll stuff or silly stuff, and that's what we want to avoid, right? Like the purpose is to try and figure out who is still not just viable, but like good with new stuff, right? Like they don't have to be like the best necessarily in their class, but they should at least be extremely playable, if that makes sense. Hi, Miss Mary. I'm doing well. How are you? Hi, Rules. What's up? Jade Cruz. How are you? Last feud, first time out. Nice, Gungi. That's awesome. What's up, Freak? How you doing? Hello, Demon Queen. What's up, Nick? Do you guys like the sound of that? Is that something you think will be somewhat interesting? And also, I will do it like I would, kind of like a normal preview, go through all their movesets again, and when I record the video for it, similar to like I would, there'll be like a vast variety of trainers and options like that. I don't know that I'll be able to record the re-preview itself during stream, but we'll play it, test it, do a bunch of that, and if we have time, then maybe I can even record it during stream. Is that something you guys like the sound of for Tuesdays with me? Is that interesting to people at all? Yay, nay? How you feeling about that? Hi, Hard Munda. Let's see, let's catch up. Wet Knife, what's good, buddy? Come Get Smacked, how are you? Harvey007, what's up? Theory Brute, Brother Ray, Parveen, and, yeah. So, I think I'm caught up on the hellos. The code won't be till later, so, don't ask. It'll get there when it gets there. My portion of the code will be later. Turn back Tuesday. Ah, I like it, beer and beef. I like it. So that's why that's flashing up top on the right. I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of heart. So yeah, we'll get dive right into Dvon. So I've played him a bunch already. I have Dvon actually at 6-star gold. So I have a pretty good idea what I want to do with him, but I haven't really messed with his Thoughts on the game cash offers? Yeah, so real swaggy. Actually, I can cover that pretty well, because I had a fair amount of in-game currency, and now I don't. So we can just look at it here. I mean, I can actually probably offer some pretty good insight on it. So, like, if you are doing the contest, right? What's up, Slim? You get 1 point for every IRS shard, and then it's destroying loot gems in Showdown. I posted a really good video with Godfather, that my faction mate, how to run him, gets you a bunch of loot box gems, potentially in very few turns. Right on, Theory Brute. So, but if you have some cash to work with, as you go through here, every milestone is giving you more cash, so it can help. But there's actually some pretty good, so like Hornswoggle, it's a lot of cash, but for 5,000 cash you get 50 Hornswoggle shards. You also get 2,500 IRS shards, which gives you points in the solo contest. The Hard Times plate, that who is it that mentioned the Hard Times plate? Real Swaggy, right? It's really good on a few different people. Oscar, Dusty, Rhea, comes with 3,000 IRS shards. So, like, as you're going through it, you're getting a bunch of stuff. If you don't have Godfather, you can get a 6-star fuse for 500 cash. And then you can use him for the loot gem tasks. There's Gunther shards. While he's not a great fighter, Hall of Fame Ted is the black move damage coach. So 600 currency for him is worth it for the coach, in my opinion. Gunther shards come with a ton of IRS. So yeah, I think if you have cash, I think it's pretty solid. The cash offers in the game, if you need to purchase them, also come with IRS shards. If you do all of this, these gems, you can max it for right around probably 30,000 in-game currency for cash, if you have cash and care about maxing it. These bags pay out IRS shards potentially as well, and Swoggle shards, so there's these as well. But I think all in all, like, guaranteed stuff like that, I like for my cash, because cash isn't necessarily always super worthwhile. These straps are a wide range, so not quite as big a fan of those. And these get really, really expensive, but they do come with a lot of IRS shards. I think I like these two, and then I like the guaranteed shard offers in the Hard Times. Yeah, they can be, the Rico strap, the affiliation one, is pretty great. If you don't have a lot of affiliation straps, 2 and 4 times bonus. 4 times in particular is really good, and you can get icons of WrestleMania down here. So big fan of the Rico strap as well. I think it's a pretty great cash offer, to be honest. Much better value than a lot of times. Not so much Zandel. No, not so much Tapjoy anymore. I don't really have the time anymore, but it is a good resource. I think they still have loopholes for cash. They're just really bad. Like, really, really bad. Yeah, it's a style. People would normally do it for trying to get aggressive shards, right, to take people up. But yeah, they still have loot for it. But this is a much better use than normal if you don't have characters, or if you don't have the plate, and then you're getting their guaranteed shards, right? So yeah, so that's kind of that right there. Who haven't I said hi to yet, now that I went on that little did I say hi, Slim? Paco, how are you? Zandel, what's up? And yeah, I think I'm caught up again. Okay, we're good. All right, check there. We're good there. Here. Yeah. Okay. What's up, K-Bat? How you doing? So, Dvon, his gem damage build is really, really good with the right stuff. It's even better against showboats, but he hits really hard without it. Let's start with the move damage, and actually I'll kind of maybe walk you through like preview process for me a little bit. When I see a new poster, card, whatever, I like looking through their moves, right? So you see blue move damage, percentage buff, so you're like, okay, maybe we can do something with blues. So right away you start looking at the blues. 259k, 219k, 890k. Damage a little bit low, but potential to hit the buff multiple times. So you're like, okay, that's a move set, pretty clear. Then you look at this finisher, or it's not really a finisher. It's a combo move. It turns color gems into multiplies, and it's a hardcore, so it does even more against showboats, right? So you're like, okay, I can do something with this in color turns. Got a color turn move here, or this makes 35 purples. Got a color turn move here for 1 MP. You're like, okay, sweet, that works. Choose blue. You could potentially make work in this move set as well. And then you got a sub that generates color turns. So like you look at this and instantly you're like, okay, there's a lot of potential builds. You can use the triple blue, you can use red and blue, you can use triple purple, you can use red and purple, right? So just right off the bat, there's a lot of stuff that flows, and you're like, okay, this has potential, potentially. When he came out, though, keep in mind, NOD Rock was even harder to get than he is now. If he was even out then, I don't remember. I think he was. But even more rare than now, and his multiply strength only went to 1. There was no Howdy, and there was no CM Punk plate, right? When he came out. So lots of additions there. Move damage wise, any idea? Do you guys have any idea what's came out move damage wise that may affect him since he came out? I don't know that there's a lot, to be honest, new there. But there's definitely a lot color turn and trainer wise, so plate and trainer wise. Since he debuted. I don't think there's a lot of new move damage stuff though, so I doubt we'll find a lot there. But also, I'm pretty sure 6-star was 6-star silver the cap when Dvon came out. I think it was. Patterson, what I'm pretty sure was out then. Looking at move damage like ahead of time, I think this was like the best of the move damage setup for move damage trainers to get it loaded in feud that I could see. So we can kind of see if like this keeps up with new stuff. What's up, Damon? And then we can switch to other things. I'm pretty sure the move damage isn't gonna like scale very well at all. And I usually like starting with the least impressive stuff first, simply because, or what I think will be least impressive, because the way my brain works, if I find something really good, I'm like, my brain says, okay, that's enough. We don't really need to do anything else, and it's really hard for me to play subpar movesets after that. You know what I mean? So generally, I try and start with the movesets that I think won't be good, and then go to the good stuff, and then kind of circle back and see if there's any like weird combinations that I may have missed or that sort of thing. So also, this I want to be like driven by you guys, like a lot of interaction. So if there's stuff you want to see, if you don't understand why something hits hard, like please ask. Because I think it's a great opportunity to explain mechanics and maybe why you thought something was going to hit hard and it doesn't, which will help you make choices for your roster too. So I think like in a perfect world, this would benefit a lot of people for a lot of different reasons. And I'll try and stick mostly with like 100% straps and the lower metals, unless you guys simply want to see it with the higher stuff, but it's not a good comparison. Because it's not max tier metals versus max tier metals, right? So I like to avoid that because it gives you a very unrealistic expectation, except when you're punching way down. That's a really good question, Damon. I could see it going either way, to be honest, but I'm gonna go with yes, I do think he's gonna win it. No need for this plate. And obviously, everyone understands why we want to take down with a move damage set, right? It's okay if you don't. Not going to laugh. No wrong answer. But a lot of times I have people ask me, what kind of strap should I use on a character? And do you understand why you would want to go, oops, that's Fury, with a takedown set with Dvon with a blue move damage buff? What's up, Spider Guard? How you doing, man? If you don't, please ask, because I'd like to explain it so that you guys can understand why. Does everyone know how buffs work, by the way? And also trainers. So we have what's called base damage, right? The base move damage, which means where it starts, is 259k on this one. What's up, Professor? No codes for you. Trainers go off of base damage, yes. And they're additive, right? So every trainer you add is additive. So you can see we have all these on here. Let's just do it one at a time, right? This will give you guys kind of a good foundation. And you can see, right? We have 259k move damage, right? Patterson. Can I put them on one at a time? Yeah. Patterson adds 100%. So it literally doubles all of the move damage. So 259 goes to 519, etc., etc. Right? You guys following me so far? Everyone good with that? It adds 100%. 100% is exactly what you have, so it just straight doubles your base starting gem damage, yeah? Okay, excellent. If you don't understand, stop me at any point. Now we're going to add another 50%. It doesn't go off of the 518. It goes off of the initial starting damage. So when you add 50%, it should be half of the initial starting damage. So it goes to 648, right? And the initial starting damage was 259. So you get half of 259, which is, what, 130, basically. 130k. So now you've doubled, and then you've done half of the original with the double, right? Because it's additive. You're adding each one on to the base. Does that make sense? So every move damage trainer you go on is straight additive. And then this is 75 and this is 40. Another way of doing this is putting them all on, right? And then let me show my calculator and I'll show you this. Let's see, window capture. And let's go, what is this going to grab first? We're going to click OK. There, it did grab the calculator. Perfect. So, we have 100%, 50%, so that's 150. 75, that's 225 by my math, and 40 is 265%. So if we take 259, oops, it helps if I push this button, 259, 204, and what did I say? 265%? You need to times it by 3.65 because you have the initial, well, 100% and then the other 2.65, right? So we get 946,094. And then when you go here, 946,095 because it rounded the 4.6 up. So it's all additive, okay? Yeah, I want you guys to have a good base for why things work. So trainers are all additive. Now, why buffs are so good is they're multiplicative or multiplicative. I don't say that word right. So you would take this and then multiply by 1.8 because it's 80%, and you need to get your initial. And that would give you 1.7 million if I did that right, which I think I did. That part will have to go in the match, but also you have to take into account is your opponent will have move defense, right? Yeah, or should have move defense. So you can see it's not quite exact when you go in here actually, and you can see these stats before you go in. If you go here and you click your moves, you can see we're doing, oh, this also counts the strap. We didn't add the straps in too. The straps and the medals aren't added to that initial screen, so it's going to be a lot more. But long story short, straps and medals are also additive, right? So, and we could do the same math with that because they're additive. So we have 100% for the strap, 80% for the medals. That's 180, and then another 200% here. So all of that together gives you 380% on the strap and medals, and then the 240 on the trainers, right? So it's a lot of percent. It's definitely a lot of percent. But long story short, add all that together. and it's going to give you like this number, but then when we get in, it might be lower because of their defense. It also might show here. And then we multiply this off of the 1.8 with the buff. So, oh, thanks, Drainmaker. Welcome in. No, this is the big account right now, the Twitch account. This is not mine. I can show you Dvon on mine, but right now with setting stuff up, saving plate swaps and all that stuff, always grinding. My Dvon is gold, by the way. Okay, so a move damage very rarely, Slim. Very rarely do I see. You're talking like hybrid. That's a great question. Almost all of the time. Almost all of the time. In fact, if you just go with, if somebody does move damage, use takedown and move damage straps. And if you do gem damage, then use the fury straps, right? Almost all the time. There are some exceptions for sure. Potentially, Slim, if you're worried about like kicking out, for example, because takedown people can't kick out. Also, in some cases, you get somebody like a Zombie Bailey who can also has a move buff and a gem buff. It might not be initially clear which is better to use, and it depends on the medals people have. Right, like for sure against tier 2, I've tested Zombie Bailey and she works better. Yeah, usually correct, Bug. Kind of like half doing armor, just got to commit one direction. Correct. Usually that's the best bet to maximize your potential. Almost always. It's very, very rare cases where it isn't. I'm trying to think of one right off the top of my head. Tiffany's one where you put a gem damage plate on a move damage build to get the most out of her. But I still build her completely move damage around that gem damage plate, right? Because move damage still scales better. Zombie Bailey still scales better, at least tier for tier. I don't know about tier 3 takedown versus tier 3 other stuff, but Zombie Bailey always scales better with move damage, even if you're using all of the gem damage, the gear, the plate, all that kind of stuff. So you can see back to this where it is lower because he has gem defense. Oh yeah, right on, Cattails. Welcome in. So he's at 1.88 million in change. So if we clear this out, 85134, and then we times it by the 1.8, we should get our move damage of 3.3 million on this move after we hit the buff, right? That should be fairly accurate. Correct. Absolutely, Derek. If you don't understand why we do 1.8 for 80%, Derek just explained it right there. Because 0.8 would only be 80%. And you can see 3.393241. The math checks out, right? So buffs multiply. Everything else in the game is additive. Boss buffs also multiply when everything else in the game is additive. Plates are additive, trainers are additive. That's why percentage buffs are so much better than other things. And multiply gems are so much better because essentially a times 20 multiply gem is like breaking 21 gems, right? So you're just simply blowing up the board like an exorbitant amount more. And that's why percentage buffs and multiplies are just about the only reason why anything hits super hard these days. There are really few exceptions. There's special gem damage things and things like that. But What do you mean, so why the 1? The 1.8 is to give us the actual, it's 1.8 times the base, which is actually 80% more, 80% increase. I'm not a math dude. I don't know why it does what it does. I just know that's how maths, right? I don't actually know the science or math behind it. I just know that it's that way. Yes, multiples do take on every bit of additive damage. Even better is a multiplicative buff on multiply gems. That is like your money shot. That's like that's the really good stuff. So anyway, we've done 3.3, we've done 1.8 million because this wasn't buffed, but we can refill it again, right? And you can see finishers up to 11 million after one boost. So is just called the math. Yeah, Bug, that's a great example. Now we can refill it again. That's great. So now we can hit the buff again. So we're at 3.3, 2.8, and 11 million. So we hit the 80% buff again, and it goes up to 4.4 million and 16. So we can choose not to place this, then we're going to not recycle, but we get some more damage. But long story short, it doesn't do nearly enough damage, right? It's doing about half the damage we need with move damage. So we can pretty much just can this, unless they come out with like maybe a blue version of a crazy buff. We went blues, you lost me with algebra because I'm big dumb, but I'll take your word for it. It won't get it done consistently at gold. So you would not want to build Dvon with move damage in mind. Well, it just won't do enough damage. Yeah, thank you, Slim. I appreciate you guys' help because I am not a math teacher person. I just know it works, and I just know it maths, like Bug said, maths. I don't know the whys always. I'm horrible at algebra. But yeah, real world application numbers I'm pretty good with. Once you start adding letters and stuff, I get really confused, right? Does anyone have... Thanks, Slim, for explaining that for Derek. Does anyone else have any questions on how that move damage scaled and why there's really nothing that is going to make him hit super hard that we have in the game right now? Yeah, we'll be rating Professor afterwards, giveaway on his stream. You can pin that if you want, Professor. What's up, Harv? So Dvon, when he came out, I believe, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, silver was the max. If we were and he hits basically the same hardness, move damage wise, at gold as he does silver, and actually very close to the same bronze. So he was actually very good move damage wise when he came out. But it just doesn't scale properly, right? So the move damage is pretty much, that's like the best you're going to get. That's like the best trainer setup kind of we have in the game. And it's just doesn't get where it needs to get. You're doing like half of a striker's life. Not good. Can't pin on mobile. All right. Let me pin for you then. Boom. So that's why move damage, the buff or the starting, needs to be way bigger. So he's 80%, right? And we're hitting it twice, which twice would be 160%. And the base move damage is what? I'll give you a great comparison before we move on to Dvon. I wasn't necessarily planning on this, but this is great. So see how his base is 890K, and if you hit this twice, you get 160% buff, right? Everyone's following with that. What's up is 890K, and you can get up to 160% buff. Let's take somebody who's good move damage that a lot of you are familiar with in Roger Rabbit. And let's look at why he's good, or hits significantly harder than Dvon with less effort. In his case, we have a 250% buff and a much, much higher base, 3.1 million. So all of the additives are adding off a much higher starting point. In fact, nearly 4 times bigger starting point. And then the bigger multiplicative, multiplicative is not only going off the bigger base, the bigger additive, but it's a bigger percentage in and of itself. So that's why once you understand these things, what's up, Sand? How are you? You can actually, on paper, look at a lot of stuff and have a really good idea how it will perform. So in the future, guys... Oh yeah, no problem, Sand. Thank my faction mate, Corntoll. That was his build. Totally stole it from him. That's why I credit it from him. It works super well. You can get a ton of loot box gems and get that task done with minimal energy. You basically can look at their starting damage and look at their buff and know if they're going to hit harder or weaker than like Roger Rabbit, right? So you can use this to compare to anything new that comes out in the future and have a really good idea right out the gate how good they're going to be. Does that kind of make sense? You guys, everyone following along? And it's okay if you don't want to look that deep into it. You want to wait for someone to show you. But I think a base knowledge of this is really good. Base damage at a minimum. Well, they need a buff, right? They're gonna need a buff. The closest exception to no buff is Solo. That I can think of. It used to be Taker. So Solo's got 3 moves that are 3 million apiece. Right? They're 3 million apiece. So once you put takedown and stuff, here, yeah, we'll just do it. I'll show you. Ba-da-ba-bum. Because I think we're done with Dvon move damage, right? I think everyone feels comfortable with what his move damage did there. It's not crazy. It's a bunch of clicks. Not a bunch. It is a bunch, actually. And it just, for not great damage, right? So Solo, before you put, now trainer-wise, this move set, you have to run with, let's see if anyone's actually set him up on this before. Only with 99 MP. Okay. With the move damage, I have a much better, Dilo. I hit, like, last feud, granted there was buffs for him. I was hitting for 360 million with 3 moves. Just FYI. And then this would be Gooker ideally, but we'll just use Rick Rude because we have a super buff Hogan that most people don't have, right? So this is one exception without a buff. Just with the trainers, it's 5.8, 5.4, 5.6. But that actually won't be enough even with the... Well, what does moments do here? No move damage here. And no move damage here. Okay, perfect. So we'll go in like this and I'll show you how much. Yeah, you need to use a mask on him for sure. But we'll just hold off. Don't get ahead of me, buddy. Don't get ahead of me. One piece at a time. So these are all 3 million apiece. 3 moves at 3 million. With takedown 2 and really good stuff, right? So you can see when you click on his moves, 18, 16, and 17. So basically 18 million times 3 for the most part, give or take. That's 54 million move damage. And then minus whatever they have in defense. I don't know what you mean when damage cap flash on screen when you play Jive Turkey. I'm not sure what you mean. Right? So I'll show you this. And then we'll put the ray plate on. But Solo caps out at a certain amount. When you use the ray plate, and this doesn't recycle, by the way, then you would use this move first, but it doesn't matter now, and then this move. And you can see we haven't done loads and loads of damage yet. And then a little bit of gem damage, but we're not set up for gem damage. Move damage, ladies, there's only 2 that come to mind right now for me. Well, 3. Rhea, Bailey, and Tiffany. Yeah, this is a road tour match, Slim. Right? So you can see that's what he does. And that's the non-buff I'm pretty sure that's the best move damage in the game without a buff percentage. And then Taker used to be really good. Showboat Taker. I don't like Tech Liv Morgan very much, always grind in. Neither. Yeah, Showboat, I mean, Derek. Showboat Rhea. Sorry, Showboat Rhea. Has good move damage, I think. I can't remember. I did that preview like 2 weeks ago. And then you can also, of course, with solo, add the worthless, other than this moveset, raise thing. I kind of like Molly the most right now. If I get a Green Royal Rumble plate, I think I can run Liv with 150% strap, moment, and Green Royal Rumble plate the way I want to, but it still won't be great. So Raise Mask adds 125% to yellow move damage, but that's only off of the base. Again, so 125% after this move, you're adding 125%, so like 3 million, you're adding about 2 million, 3.1 million, something like that on this move, and another 3 million on this move. So Raise Mass adds another 6 million, gets you up to about 60, right? I love you, Solo. Gets you up to about 60 million total in move damage. And it's more passable. It's fine against like strikers, but the pin also isn't very big anymore. So like when there's the feud perks that add 40% health for the, not the perks, but the, and I did that backwards, by the way. I should have done this move first. But it doesn't really matter. For this, you can see the finisher goes up to 20 million from the 18 we were running. So Tech Liv, I would 2-click her with Mayplate and Green Royal Rumble with a 150 strap in the moment. Then she would be good enough for me. Other than that, no. So yeah, Striker New Gen Liv, I actually hit super hard. Triple red. I think I can hit like, I don't know, it's a lot. But yeah, triple red. Triple red with the moment and Valkyrie plate hits super hard. But yeah, Tech Liv, 2-click with the Green Royal Rumble, which I don't have in the Maze Crown. Green's her primary color. She gets the base buff and she's good. So I prefer 2-click, but I don't Liv isn't as fast as I want, but I also don't like Charlotte and I don't like May. I don't really love any of the lady techs right now for feud. They're not my fave. I use them because I have to when I have to. I actually kind of, Molly Holly's actually my favorite Hall of Fame Molly. But so anyway, back to the Dvon. Everyone kind of understands move damage, right? It is what it is, Zandel, right? Like, everything is a rotating, like, curve for me. Like, there's always something I dislike the most when they're towards the bottom. Alright, Derek, here. Let me just real quick. This is how I look at it, for me. Since you're asking why, right? Like, why do I feel that way? Hold on. I gotta get to my account. Why is it over here? Oh, because I'm on the wrong window. That makes a difference. So what the heck did I just change? This one. No, that should be the right one. Give me 1 second. There we go. So we'll go to my account. We'll go to ladies. Because it's a really good question. Why don't I like May now? Right? I try and put my fastest feuders out and not run one of every class, right? I don't care about the classes. So, like, now this depends on the situation. It's slightly in flux right now with metals changing things and the 40% buff. Because where 70 million used to be plenty, it no longer is, right? Now I want to clear closer to 100 million, right? But it depends. But when you have people that are like 2 moves and really fast, so like an ideal feud for me, Asuka's 2 moves hits for 110 million. Trish's 2 moves, I want to say my Trish hits for, I want to say like 100-ish. New Alexa against Technicians is like 150 million with 2 moves, and like 77 million against non-techs. Naomi, for me, I have to use 3-click because I don't have her gear, but 3 moves hits for over 100 million. Lyra hits for over 100 million in 3-quick moves, right? They're quick. They're not like taking a long time to resolve. So what I'm getting at is no, that's funny, Bug. Naya might end up being used more for me now, because if you use the color turn set, it's much, much faster than the Yeet plate set. Because you're doing less, but Bailey still is really good for me, but when they have higher metals, you have to transition to 3. Indy's two moves and hits super hard. So like basically, I'm trying to use my 7, because I usually run 7. I don't run a full lady lineup. I like being around 250k, 270k. So I'm literally using my fastest 7, and neither May or Charlotte fit into that. So I only use them when I have to, when like there's tech requirements to fill a middle lane or something like that. That's why I don't love them, because they're not better than the other options I have. So basically, Derek, there's always this evolving, rotating thing on my roster where somebody catches the strays, right? Because when they were good enough and now they're not, then they kind of drop out, right? So Charlotte was amazing, but she's just, and still hits hard, and she's still good, right? But that's why you asked why I don't like her. That's why, because she's a longer resolve time than the other people I have. Liv, if I get a Green Royal Rumble, I will play her 2-click, and she'll probably fit into my lineup somewhere towards the end, right? But it also depends. I'm still dialing in how I run my roster. Last feud, guys, I ran actually a big lineup, way bigger than normal, and I lost 1 match all feud, and that was because I took my Ilya with Fury 2s against Fury 3s. I wasn't checking, right? But I actually didn't see a lot of issues still, so they're not yes, right, Big Rob, you're going to get better cards eventually, so you should not necessarily enjoy them while you got them, right? Ride them while they're your best, but be aware that, or be looking for the things to replace them. So you're constantly trying to, is this a better level of speed and damage combo? You only need to hit hard enough to win. Once you hit hard enough to win guaranteed, then you want to hit hard enough but faster. How do you make them more efficient? Because like I think I hit my 500 million war score in like 5 hours of playing. I didn't time it. It wasn't super long, or whatever the war score max was. I maxed it in like 5 hours. I don't want to be playing like, I'm not going to feud for 10 hours, right? Correct, what Telvin said. But also, I generally don't run huge because I want to avoid, yeah, Big Show, right? I usually don't run that big, but I was trying to run into higher level people, and I wasn't even looking what they were running, Big Show, just to see how it would work. And it was working okay for me because I'm really trying to get a feel for the metals, because I play as much by numbers as feel. Like, if things feel right to me, I'll use somebody who feels better, is more fun, even if they might technically be a little bit slower. I didn't have max steps, Zandel, so I didn't really pay attention, right? I feel like it was like, it had to be at least like more than 1 million per run, way more. I want to say like 1.5 or something. I wasn't really paying attention. It just kind of added up pretty fast after the bonuses were gone, right? It just was going pretty well because it was so many golds, such a big roster for me, and it wasn't slow for me, because all of my people, I had most of them, a good chunk of them with medals that were good, or they were running buffs, and then the boosts were good, right? That it didn't matter what people were running. Defense most of the time is an illusion. Good offense almost all the time beats good defense. I'm not saying you can't win offensively with defense, because that's a totally different thing. But when I go first, I'm looking for offense and to be efficient. Beanie, for some reason, Scopely decided to lower the energy to 6 and make it take 2 hours to come back. Everyone hates this. It makes tasks more stressful. We don't want it. Only went to 450. I wanted the medals because I really like the prize wall, Zandel. Derek, that was a really long answer to try and answer your question. It's not that May is bad at all. It's just I'm always trying to use my roster, the top of it, and be more efficient all the time, and rotating and dropping people through, and improving that. Did I answer it okay? And everyone should, in my opinion, should work to do that with your roster. The good roster building is the same with a small roster or a big roster, right? You wanna invest, whether it's resources, money, time, in those things that make your roster better, that actually move the needle, right? It doesn't make sense to put a ton of resources into getting something that's equal to. Feud promoters, yes, and then two times speed. I also have 2 times speed up in feud. That is a huge difference. Thanks, Big Rob. I was running, I think, a lot of times around 300, which is huge for me. Maybe, and even bigger sometimes, because I was just like, whatever, we're just gonna full YOLO this, because it went fine. But anyway, that's the why of it, not because she's bad. It's just, on my roster, it's not ideal. 2 times speed up, I would argue, is actually more impactful than promoters. It's unfortunate, but it is. Like, I don't like it that it is, but it is. It's that part of the game I don't care for either. But yeah, the showdown thing with the energy limited, how many people are stressed about their showdown tasks right now? Throw 1 in the chat if you're stressed about your showdown tasks. Just throw a 2 if you're not. On the current energy available. 3? What does 3 mean? What's up, Hey, also everybody, IK, better way to say that. Can you say it without that particular word in? I'm going to deny that one because of the word, but go ahead. I agree with you, just not with that term. So I did mod that one, IK. What the heck is 3, HD? Also, Corntall's in chat. If you guys watched the Godfather video for your tasks, that's the guy you're thanking. XX Corntall right there. I stole it from him. 3 means... Fair enough, HD. You probably have what's-his-face. Big one? Yeah. Yeah, Corntall's the guy. Okay. Yeah, to get the tax day task done, for those that don't have potentially a lot of in-game currency, you can get a bunch for free destroying loot box gems in the showdown. Godfather can get it done really quickly, and you can also get his 6-star build, but you can get a 6-star fuse for him, and you only need to level his moves for 499 in-game currency. Corntall has a really slick build for breaking a lot of loot box gems with very limited energy. Godfather is right here for 499 currency at 6-star bronze. You don't even really need to give him levels because of how the loot box mechanic works. Just to stay alive is what you'd give him levels for. Yeah, Theory Brute. I was moved to the very bottom of the career one too. Kind of annoying. Kind of really annoying. In both male and female, I try to have at least one of each class. Yeah, absolutely, Derek. To a point. The build also wins too. But yes, you want to break the gems on your energy as much as possible. But the build also wins semi. It wins very easily. Or Sami. Sorry. Sami. I don't know why I said semi. All right, let's go back to the big account. And feel free to ask questions as we go. If I don't get as far on Dvon as I need to, that's just fine. I'll record it like off stream and that kind of stuff. I'd rather, I want you guys to show up on Tuesdays so we can talk about the game, learn the game, get better at the game, share ideas, concepts, that kind of thing. If you're new to American Stream, this is what I prefer. No, not a good way, lock and load. You have to manipulate it by moving people around. I did a video a super long time ago on how to change your blitz lineup and feud lineup. They both apply. Thanks, Always Grinding. Let me see if I can dig it up from my channel. There should be a remove button. It's really dumb. What the heck is that thing called? I did it years ago at this point. How to change. Let's type that in and see if it comes up. Yeah, it's how to change your blitz roster. And then I got another one, how to change your feud roster. It's from 2020 without leaving your faction, because we used to have to leave your faction. So let me... Okay, HD. But I will get you the link. And it's really old, but it all still applies. And I'll post it in chat for you. Since there's no feud right now to show you. But there's the link for you. If you want the Godfather video, I will also give it to you, because I posted that one. I'll give you that link. That's coming up for the Godfather video right here. And you can check that out. So I don't completely derail. Awesome, Sand. The stream. So there's the Godfather video. Oh, whatever, Gumsy. I love you too. He's in my faction. He loves trolling me. Make me feel so good, Gumsy. Okay. Feel free to ask other questions while we look into Dvon. You missed the start. We kind of covered move damage already. If you did miss the start, I would recommend when the VOD's posted, if you struggle understanding why move damage is good, isn't good, watch the replay of the VOD. There's a lot of good info there that will help you. That's the wrong Dudley. Yeah, I appreciate that, Gumsy. I know you don't always troll, which is why I like you. All right, there we go. So, Dvon, is he someone you guys think is relevant at all nowadays? I mean, maybe some of you have seen videos on him, you haven't. Maybe you haven't. He's actually better now than when he came out. Mainly because of plates. I'm using an emulator. Are you familiar? I'm playing on my PC, Sami. This is called LD Player. You can't really see it because of the stuff, but it's called LD Player, and you can sign in with a Google account, download it to your PC, and then install champions on your PC. I have trouble seeing. So this is a much bigger screen. It helps me a lot. What do you mean, IK? How many showdowns am I running right now? I'm not understanding what you're asking. Oops, wrong button. There, oh, not me. Are running? There's the Eddie one that's not, you don't need Eddie. And then there's the career one. But the one to do tasks is only the Eddie one. Nah, emulators are fine. Nothing counters a sub reversal other than you don't use a sub. That's also why another reason I don't like subs, because the most prevalent reversal is the sub reversal. That is the most prevalent. But that's why I try to avoid subs. Honestly, if you have good offense and good setups, offense pretty much always wins turn one. Reversal is a knowledge check. So you know if somebody has the reversal, not to use that person, or you can learn it, one or the other. So for me, that's a good counter. as it encourages people to understand the game. I actually, call me crazy, but I do like the reversals because it's a knowledge check. What's up, Freedom? Or when I go against Zombie Sammy. Yeah, I always forget against Zombie Sammy. See, top right corner of the screen, I have it glowing and on fire. So I don't have to answer that question. But the code is later. But it's in the top right corner of the screen. Jay's pyro reversal is the hardest one to remember, for sure. That one will get me. And then also, Dom's MP up is sneaky because we haven't seen it a lot yet. So I think CM Punk also has the MP increase one. Those are still sneaky yet. Once you get burned a couple times, but the J one you don't always see, and you don't always use pyro one, so it's not one you see like a lot. So that's probably the hardest one to remember, Telvin. Yeah, but I do kind of like that. Funk's trap one always gets you. That's fair. That's fair. Funk is sneaky good. No problem, Spinzizzle. I was more saying it for the benefit of the chat than you, buddy. So don't feel picked on if you do. I'm sorry. It's a cool little contest they're running. We'll talk about it later. I'll show you guys all the ways to enter. I'm going to record a video that's got all of that stuff in my code in it, and we'll do it all at once later. And also the different ways to enter and all that stuff. So we'll do that later. We'll get to the code eventually. But yeah, right now, this is a good Tuesday turnout, probably because of the code. Isn't there a multiply reversal for males? I think somebody has one. I just don't think they're super relevant. I could be wrong. I would imagine they will. I can't remember. Maybe they don't. Only one male? Who is it, HD? I don't remember right off the top of my head. Actually. Samu? Ah, you might be Samu. I think it's one of them. Yeah, I think you're right, Spider-Guard. I did, Freedom. So, pretty standard setup. Fury 2, 100% strapped. Dvon, no plates to start, right? This is the sub build set. I'm not a big fan of them, but it is useful in its place. Gunther is your guy to get loaded. So sub is 6 MP. So in feud, Woods and Gunther is 6. Your turn 7. You got room for 1 for air. Zombie Brett is multiply gems do 60%, purple gems do 40, and Gunther is 60% multiply gems. This is a friendly setup with fairly friendly trainers. That's why I'm starting here. Some of you may not have Zombie Brett, but otherwise this is a very friendly place to start. So typically I try and start there and then go up. No plates on this one. Bunch of different plate options with this. None are really new. The plate options are not new, because I think All Heart with the purple is still the big one here. And that is for sub, and none of those are new. So if you're using the sub, this is very similar to his original preview. Brett is just new. He's anyone killer, but especially a showboat always grinding. We'll get there. I will show you the he'll kill anyone build, regardless, and the showboats he'll really kill. Yeah. Oh, is that the Merrick's Disciple? B-Rock, is that you? What the heck? Did you seriously change your name? That's freaking hilarious. Oh my gosh, that just totally threw me for a loop. What the heck, B-Rock? How are you? That's funny. All right, so this is like kind of like lower end Dvon, like before you get like crazy good stuff necessarily. The B-Rock is in the building. Yeah, dude, you announced your presence with style, my friend. You can drain them with their MP, so this is a little more like defensive based, that sort of thing. Problem is, after the sub, color turns can turn and you can lose them. We didn't, so that's good. And then you're just making 11 into multiply gems, not crazy. With this setup, each one's like 1.8 million. So they're not like super crazy. 11 at 1.1 million isn't a ton, right? Admittedly, it's not a ton. And then you're just flooding the board with purples. Not that exciting, but it's a 2-cycle win, though. 31 million in recycles. It's going to take you like 2 cycles. But that's also with no plates. Okay? Let's run it against a showboat now. Do I have it, Gumsy? That's hilarious. I didn't even pay attention. No, I didn't. But that's funny. So let's go in against a showboat. Nakamura. And your second? Right on. Showboat. You get basically a little more than double. Because it's a hardcore move. So, if the opponent is a showboat, you change 11 random color turns into multiply gems of strength 9. So you're getting 11 times 7 regular, and then against the showboat, you're getting an additional 11 times 9, so 22 multiply gems. It typically will double the damage, sometimes a little more, against the showboat. And we did 31 million that one. Of course, with the sub, it's always going to be subject to how many color turn gems you keep, right? There's also the chance if we keep a bunch that we cascade and when the color turns turn. And this is really bad because they're going to turn twice and it's much easier to lose them. We didn't though, so that's great. And you can see we weren't able to use all 22 gems because we didn't keep 22. So we won't do quite double, but it'll show you how much better he is against a showboat than a regular one. 57 million. That's not bad for no plates with a friendly entourage against a showboat, yeah? Friendly entourage and no plates. That's not bad. I think it's not bad. So let's go back to Striker. Because ideally, what you want to do is you have somebody that's a class killer. You want to take them against that class, but in a perfect world, if that class isn't there, you also want to be able to fall back and beat a regular class, right? So that's ideal. So how would you go about getting there? This keeps the color turn gems on the board, and it would still be filled this way, but you generally want to go to a little bit better trainer for this type of thing. So perfect, really for non-showboats, right? The perfect coach is Howdy, who wasn't there when he came out. So you swap Gunther for Howdy. And we did just one coach change. We're going to actually, let me do it once without Howdy so you can see the difference one coach makes. So we'll run it this way. And then we'll put Howdy on and see the difference. I might force close if Steiner doesn't stay down, by the way. And again, this is no plates. Don't have to work the sub with this, so it's faster. And I think we did like, what, 31 off the sub with no plates, if I'm not mistaken. 29 because we missed a multiply gem, so a little bit worse. So we got lucky. Steiner didn't kick out. So still not great. A showboat, basically double it, right? About 60 mil on a showboat. And now let's do it by making one coach change. Just in case you guys don't know what Howdy does. Generate when moves and gems, trap, countdown, juggernaut that generate multiply gems will create 6 more multiply gems. It also increases their damage by 60%. So all of the multiply gems hit 60% harder, additive, and you create 6 more. So now instead of making 11, you make 17. Yes, Moment is great in Feud, if you have it. I can't simulate that here, but it is great. So we went from 28 to 38. Howdy was about a 10 million gain, right? We picked up about 10 million damage, and then without plates, that would probably be like close to 80 on a showboat. Let me just show you. It's basically all of the color turns, I think, for the most part. So one trainer make like a 10 million difference by being able to upgrade it. This is kind of what I do when I'm doing a preview. I go through the different stuff, try and think how they'll run on people's rosters. Howdy's super rare, so I show alternatives to Howdy. But then you also want to be able to show what the card can do, so people know later on what they can do, right? So this one we're getting 17 and 17, so 34 multiply gems on a showboat. So it's literally all but one of them. And that's 82 million without a plate, right? So now we're starting to cook, for sure. There is also, do you guys know what a middle line is when I say middle line bonus? Do you guys know what that means? Yeah, B-Rock. Howdy makes a huge difference. And there's a lot more to come. But does everyone know what a middle line bonus means? I say that in videos, and somebody often I get, what's he talking about when he says middle line? In Feud, the middle line bonus is always +1 multicolor MP. So every color MP is +1. So you can have 7 charge moves loaded in Feud without, say, using Santa Hogan, or like 8 charge moves loaded. It's a strategic thing. There are some builds you can do in a middle lane that you can't do with other things. That's actually hasn't been true though. Recently, Derek, this last one, any Bray Wyatt, he had to be 6-star, but it was any Bray Wyatt. The one before that, they have loosened up middle lanes. So I'll show you a middle lane build without Howdy that's very similar, actually, that you can do with a much easier to get trainer. You'll lose Gunther, but you can put Mosh. Mosh lets you make 5 more and increase their strength by 1. So with Woods, you have 4 MP. It was any Bray at 6. Yep. Your turn gives you 5. Actually, yeah. Middle lane gives you 6, and Santa gives you 7. So you can run this with a middle lane in Feud. And it's close to as good, not quite as good. But again, this is no plates, middle lane runnable. And if they're going to continue to make that available to people, this could be... I'm going to be short because we don't have perks here, right? In Feud, you'd have +1. I hope so, Scale. So we're going to swipe. In Feud, you wouldn't have to, right? But so here you do. Everyone understand that now, the middle lane? What I mean by that? So now you're full, or you would be full with a middle lane. And Mosh will let you hit very, very hard with the middle lane, and no, this is still no plates against the showboat. You see, almost as hard. That was 79 million. I'm doing well, Copperhead. So if you get a middle lane, now you can basically run the Howdy setup without Howdy. And I'll show you what it would do on a strike. Yeah, they're not always going to be easy to fill, for sure. But I do think there's people that have middle lanes sometimes that don't have Howdy, that this information is probably worth knowing, right? Because I think Howdy is very hard to get. So I think there's a very good middle ground, and a case can be made that it's not useful to, or that it is useful to talk about Mosh and a middle lane setup. Granted, this is also a really big Santa too, but here we got every multiply gem, but that's still 40 million without plates to fall back on. Not terrible. Since we can add a lot in plates. But before we go to plates, we're still not done improving the entourage, by the way. Right. For sure we went blues, for sure. If you have NOD, now you get 2 multiply, you get your MP, and if you want to like full whale it, then you add Leo, and then you add Howdy. And now your multiply gems are huge. And let's see what we do without plates against a striker with this. And 3 of the 4 things on this build are new since I previewed Dvon. The plate would be 4. So this is no plates, 45 million. Okay. Still not where we need to be against a non-striker. I'm not going to bother with the showboat. We already were beating the showboat with the other stuff. But that's like his probably his best setup. If you don't have Leo, Brett is actually really good too. Zombie Brett. I'll run that one once for you as well, just in case. But I think rarity-wise, do we think Howdy's the rarest, then Leo, then Rock? Or do we think Rock, Leo, Howdy? How do you guys think rarity-wise those guys rank? Because I know it starts to get pretty rare here. But yeah, you can also change Brett for Howdy and keep Leo. Gunther's the substitute for Rock. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different setups, and once we start adding the plates in, you'll see just how much difference the plate makes compared to the trainers. Howdy was the biggest difference by far, making like a 10 million damage difference, basically. Howdy was huge. Fair enough, Slim. Fair enough. You can see still 42 million without Leo, so it's really not that much of a fall off at all, and we missed a couple multiply gems, so it's very, very similar. You think Rock's the rarest? Okay. I suppose I could look it up on the 3 up on the portal, and then I would know based on if they've been leveled, because you got to take them all to gold to get the most out of them. So I could probably do that, and we'd know, actually. All right, so that's kind of the trainer progression with his best moveset, and the different route you can go. So one easy plate to add adds 50% damage. I think a lot of people probably have this plate. It's good to put on your radar for Dvon and for like Trickster Live. It's the color turn plate. It's Dvon's glasses. See if I can find it. I'm blind. No news here. It looks literally like glasses, and I think there's only 3 plates that look like glasses in the game. What the heck? I am so blind. I'm sorry, guys. I passed it. There it is. Whenever you make 6 or more color turn gems, increase all your gem damage by 50% for 1 turn. Thank you, Jabroni. So 50%, it's not crazy, but it's not nothing. We did 42 million. Let's see what difference we get going up by 50%. This would also tell you how much difference a 150% gem damage strap would make if you had one. Right? Same amount of difference. 50%. Yes, I think you're right, IK. I was thinking ultimates. Good call. We went from 42 to 46. Right on, Phil. That's hilarious. You have all this stuff, but not Dvon. That's actually kind of funny. So that 50% picked up about 4 million, give or take, right? That's not bad. We're still not beating a striker, though. And that's where the newest edition really puts him over the top, because now you can beat not just showboats, but you can beat strikers. Because 50% added, what did we figure it added? Like 4 million? Well, why don't we just add 500% and add 40 million approximately? The Punk's Gauntlets. Whenever you make 6 or more color turn gems, increase all of your gem damage by 500%. No strap, we went blues? Oh my gosh, that's horrible. Yeah, Phil, that's pretty funny, actually. What's up, Ocho? So while we're doing this, guys, be thinking of people, and you can even start saying it now, that you want to nominate for possible re-preview next week. That was 95 million. Now you're hitting for 95 million on a striker. He's not just a showboat killer, and this is without Leo. All right, I will discard Godfather. He won't end up on the poll, but I do appreciate the, you know what, with actually with what's his butt, it might be worth doing at some point, but you know, it's not enough to matter. With Shamrock Boy, what the heck is his name? Why can't I think of it right now? Hornswoggle. Yeah, that guy. Okay, I'll consider WCW Ray. So, I mean, would you guys agree 95 million on a non-showboat is pretty good, considering you're going to target showboat first, and you can fall back to 95 million? I think everyone can agree with that, right? And then that is also not using Leo in that one. That's for you, Slim. No Leo. You're not exactly slumming with this once you get the plate, you know? And then, of course, once you go to a showboat, it's also very fast for acros in particular, but hits super hard. Showboats have the biggest health pool, too. So kind of a great one to have an advantage on. And that's 182 million right there. You know? That's gonna get it done. Right? And then if you want to see the middle lane build, yeah, Slim, right? Not salty. If you want to see the middle lane build again, in case you don't have Howdy, but you do have a middle lane, which I think definitely is worth mentioning. So this requires the middle lane in feud, which has +1 MP boost, or when there's a +1 purple MP in the bottom lane, which we do have sometimes. Then you can run it this way and use Mosh and still get, and then like it was been said, there's a feud moment, the Dudley Boys moment, that also helps him in feud too. That I cannot show you. Show you here. I screwed that up. It's fine. We won't place it. That's because we don't have a middle lane, so I have to swipe. Mosh is amazing. So underrated as a trainer. Literally one of the best in the game. So underrated. I love him. So you can see middle lane Dvon, even without Howdy, with the plate, still 165 million. All right, so he can still easily smoke a showboat. And now let's go back and check someone else. Yeah, Jason, he is 100% worth it. When what he does at coach is a 1 of 1, and we're not even using someone right now that uses multiplies off Juggernaut countdown or that kind of thing, right? Like the quantity of extra multiplies in the game we play is actually huge. I find it, I mean, like, it'll probably be years before they make a better coach that does the same kind of thing, I would think, because that's just like, he already was such a huge power leap gap that didn't need to be done that much, right? Like just massive power creep gap with him. When he's required or usable, he is massively clutch, right? Like massively clutch. I want to get rid of these loot box gems for funsies. All right. So also the Mosh middle lane build, what it would do against a non-showboat. And I don't know who you guys are using for acros, what they all can do. This plate is also very, very good on Punk. I think both are great spots for it, to be honest. You can still see 84 million with Mosh middle lane. Jamie. How are you, Jamie? I'm definitely not electrifying, but I am a content creator. Thank you, Jamie. So what do you guys think? Dvon actually pretty good now? Better than when he came out? Do you guys agree with that? Disagree? Yay, nay? Anything else you'd like to see with Dvon? The code's later. There's a flashing on fire thing in the top right talking about that. I tried the Punk plate on Radical Seth. Yeah, we went blues. So my top 4 spots for the plate, if you were curious, and reason I don't usually go farther is because just because you can use a plate on somebody, just because that plate makes someone better, does not mean you should, right? Like the top 4 for me are Dvon, CM Punk, Liv, Trickster Liv, and Nia Jax Striker. After that, you could put it on Seth, but it's not really good, in my opinion. It's kind of a waste of a super high-end plate, in my opinion. Maybe you don't have any of those other 4, though, and that's why you put it on him. You can ask questions. I may or may not be able to answer them super in depth right now, but yes, you can ask any question you want, Jamie. That's just fine. You only have Liv, so Liv is great, though. We went blues. Liv is an awesome spot for the Punk plate, especially if you have all the moments. I don't on my roster. So also question while you guys are here, would you like me to try and record the re-preview on stream today? So like you can be part of the YouTube video. Actually, let me pull that. Or would you rather I just record it off stream? It doesn't matter either way to me. I would prefer you guys enjoy these streams. So cool. Record re-preview now or off stream. Yeah. Or off stream. Neither matters to me. And I'll leave it up for 5 minutes because I have nothing else to pull, so. You'd enjoy Hot Tub stream? What did... Well, the poll's up so you guys can vote. What does it do for Naya? Yes, I love polls. Dork. You just wanted to hear me say that, didn't you? It's not. It's the same amount of work. Both have their advantages, Kat. I have zero preference, to be honest. Usually I record stuff off stream. So it doesn't matter. It's Jack. That's funny. I could show you depending on what you have. We Went Blues. Really, really good build for Seth. That is very safe. As for what it does for Naya, it takes my favorite moveset for Naya and makes her way better. As far as hits harder. But it's the faster build. I don't particularly care for the Yeet drip on Naya at all, to be honest. I like this moveset. Headbutt, which increase your black MP by 9. Leg drop, 24 randoms into color turns, 23 randoms into multiply gems of strength 4. And then finisher. 2 million damage, 49 randoms into blue. This is so it's really simple to run. Lawler, Sherry, Gunther, and Leo if you have Leo. Or another zombie if you don't. And it'll just hit stupid hard. "12 say now, 4 stay after." There's 96 people that haven't voted, but so far it's a landslide on now. It's really simple. It's just click, click, and boom. No swiping needed, no placing needed. That's so easy, you could train a monkey to do it if you had enough bananas. And that's 184 million. It's kind of good. That's what it does for Naya. $17-5 on the poll. Fair enough. Indeed. Let me go to my account for Seth. Since it's all set up and I can do it faster. You know I'm lazy, Jack, right? So here's what I'm aiming for. A plate that I have. Can you let me know some choices? Sure, Jamie. What plate? You have it's a trap plate, and you will hit harder if you use Blue Royal Rumble, but I don't like adding time. But it's a trap with the HBK plate. Adds 50% blue gem damage. It's better than nothing. And loadout is just Shinneru and King's Landing, so you can't miss. You can do this with just the Shinneru. Shiranu, whatever, I can't say it. Whatever that word is. But you can miss. And I will miss, so I don't. And the setup's pretty dang easy. Other than 17k Santa and the skill plate, of course. The skill plate is not easy. The primary plate. Well, Andrew, you can ask. Heart of Jade. I think the only one I actually like that on is reworked Rhea at the moment, I think. That does purple, right? I think I used that on Rhea. Trickster Rhea. So you're gonna do a bunch of like 18 million in trap unblockable damage, plus 65 million gem plus move damage. Basically, it caps out, Jack. I think it was you that was asking about this. It caps out at right around 80 million total damage. You're not gonna really get any higher, but it's 2 moves. And which one is Dark Master? I don't know what Dark Master is. It caps out at around 80 million, but it's only 2 moves. It's Merrick's proof and doesn't cascade. That is with the moment and a 150 strap, though. So you might be closer, but there's no gem boost, so you probably would still cap out over 70. But there's 0 risk, it always hits, and it's fairly quick. But yeah, you're gonna do about 50 to 60 million gem damage. Oh, it's on Aussie. Break 20 traps, generate 20 black. I mean, Aussie is the best one for that, or because I don't think Brutus Hall of Fame makes enough traps. No, the countdown set is fine. Absolutely. Are you talking about Rhea? Ben? Z-plate is great because if you can run armor if you want. Z-plate more with it. JD puts them down. No, Seth? Which one's... Oh, you're doing the 5 match. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, the Orton build. Yeah, and the JD plate, if you cascade, keeps you safe. I get it. You can absolutely do that if you want to play Seth that way. They're perfectly playable that way. JD plate keeps you safe. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just lazy. You want me to place the blue gems? Do you want me to put the traps out twice? We went blues? Yes, Ben. You can absolutely hit hard that way. I'm just freaking lazy. Nice. I love new Alexa. That's where this plate is actually going, onto Alexa. And then just for fun, I can swap the strap between Alexa and Steamboat. Not that I will probably use Zombie Steamboat, but it's there. Where was the poll at? Last I looked, it was a landslide for you guys wanting to record the Dvon. So anyway, Seth's really good that way. I like him that way. Glowing Fate, Naomi, if you're going to use the sub. I don't like using the sub on Naomi, but it's a sub plate. So Naomi or is Waller and Boss Battle are the 2 spots. You can use the Glowing Fate on Waller and Boss Battle, if I'm not mistaken. For green boss, because you can sub, choose, set it up, recycle really well, hit super hard. Oh, you want me to blow it up with blue? Then I have to choose. I can't load both moves because it's 7. So I can't load both moves unless yeah, I can't load both. I have no way of loading both. Yeah, so he can hit hard with triple purple too. It's all depends if you're okay with cascade risk, choosing how fast you're trying to go. Seth can do a lot of different stuff. It really just depends like what you're okay with, you know? And how you want to play it. Yeah, 99 MP for sure. Yep. I just am lazy and I don't, with how many options I have where I don't have to choose, I don't do it. So but Seth is a fine card, lot he can do, especially with plates, right? So, well, it looks like you guys want me to do the Dvon preview now, which I can do that because we still have over an hour left, and I just need to make a few graphics, the re-preview. So far, people haven't really thrown out who they want to see a re-preview for next week too much that I can remember. So I don't get everyone. I get most of them, and most of the answer to that question is money. Okay, I know you said Godfather Harv. Probably not going to happen. Probably won't make the ballot, but we'll consider it. Andrew, I don't get all of them. I do get most of them, and the answer is money and sniping prize walls whenever you can, right? Better luck in 20. Hollywood Hogan HD? Okay. Little Miss Bliss. Powerhouse Austin. That's a good one with Red Royal Rumble. Showboat KO's also a good one. Little Miss Bliss had a rework. I didn't do a preview for JBL, no. The idea of the re-preview is to highlight people that have significantly improved with like new additions to the game since their preview. Raquel is a great suggestion, Ben. I like that one. Let me write some of these down for when we do a poll later. Those are some good suggestions. Preferably people you guys really want to see. I like the KO one a lot too, actually, Showboat KO. Let me get a open up a whatchamacallit word pad here. What the heck they call that these days? There we go. Word pad. Ah, no, not wiki. Just give me not no. I can't use my computer. I can build them, but I can't use them. Whatever. I'm just going to Google Documents. This is way too hard. All right. Powerhouse KO. Maybe not in this lifetime because I hate him, but it's a good suggestion though, because everything that comes out seems like it affects Powerhouse KO. JBL Striker potentially. JBL Striker. Yeah, Nash. My only thing with Nash, Ben, Nash can hit super hard, and I'm happy to do a re-preview. It's just there's so many good strikers, it's hard for me to use him, but it's fun to do that sometimes too. Andrade? Which Andrade? No, I don't think so. Virtual Rambo. Showboat Ray, sure. Somebody said WCW Ray, since you can get his gears now too. WCW Ray earlier. Raquel is great because Lady Powerhouse is super limited. Time to get radical. NWO, or sorry, Hall of Fame. Yeah, NWO Macho. Hall of Fame. Ron Simmons. Let's get radical. That's easily the best spot for it. NWO Macho. Acro Carmella. NWO Macho. Okay. Did she have? I don't even remember what she does right off. Carmella. NWO Nash, Striker Nash is what he was talking about. What else did we get? Oh yeah, Showboat KO and Hollywood Hogan, Powerhouse Austin, Little Miss Bliss. Powerhouse Austin, Showboat KO, Little. Okay, I think I'm caught up on some of this. Hollywood Hogan, slightly. Keith Lee's a great one too. Yeah, if he cascades with a rumble plate, he's dirty. But you need a cascade. I did. I got Hollywood on there, I think. Yes, I got him on. Goat Ali. Hey Uni, how you doing? It's always good to see you, Uni. Goat Ali. So yeah, this is what I think we're gonna do Tuesdays. You guys seem to be liking it. And then you guys can get input by voting. Merrick's just do everyone. Macho, which Macho HD? I love Trickster Macho. If we're talking about Trick Macho, I love him. Also, I mean, Hall of Fame Macho, I did a video on him today. He's also still really good. He's like almost as good as Jacob, very similar. How do you get titles that require 2 skill plates? Is it a bad idea to buy titles for each superstar? Andrew, so you're asking some good questions. Hey guys, let's take a minute here. Andrew, how long you been playing the game, bud? I am new here. How do we vote? I'll do a poll eventually, Cattails, and I'll tell you when I do the poll, right? I get why you like Nash, by the way, Ben. He can hit stupid hard. if you don't mind doing a few clicks. And it's very entertaining to win with older people. Plus, he's got some cool looking gear. Andrew, how long you been playing the game, bud? X-Pac? Sure. 5 years? How long have you been, so how long have you been going after straps and stuff? Like, is it newer to your game? Do you play like pretty hardcore? You know, that kind of thing. Xbox. Have you just started playing more? Been playing since the game came out? Okay. So in general, your question, let me go back to this. Straps, most of the time, I get the majority of my straps from, you play every day? Okay. I get the majority of my straps from contests, but my experience won't be the same as your experience, right? Typically, let's take the this week 2 countdown, right? If you scroll to the gold chest, which is typically, if you're in like I would say at least a top 30 faction, maybe mid 50s, and you get all your stuff done and your faction gets their stuff done, you can get to milestones like this. A lot of times, somewhere along the way to a gold chest, you're going to pick up straps. Sometimes they're shortly in the bonus milestones, like very shortly. So like mine right here, like right here is a chance to get a 40 to 150% ultimate. Ultimates can use both, but a lot of straps and milestones, if you don't do faction stuff, here's a great example. Let's go to the solo contest and then the faction contest. I believe, does this one have straps this week? Or just prize wall currency that you can buy straps with? But there's a lot of times on the weekend, the faction milestones have ultimate straps. Yeah, a ton in milestones and feud. Basically, you can get a lot of straps through events. Same thing with medals. Also, in the new armory loot, there's straps and the new medals. Guaranteed you're going to get a plate or a strap. If you do a featured pull, lots of 100 to 150 potential, affiliation potential, and then the medals in there. So those are probably your better options. Be in a top 50 or better faction, do your daily stuff, your faction does their daily stuff, play all the events, and then like the armory loot. You're also going to get medals doing the armory loot. Honestly, while it might be sexier to go for the moments or the gear, I think there's a very good chance you don't come away with a bunch of useless stuff when you go straps and medals. Now, as for your question about straps on a particular superstar, I don't love using prize wall currency for them because then you're missing out on shards to recruit valuable trainers or skill plates, right? So in my opinion, I typically would say going for specific straps kind of hamstrings you. That being said, if there's somebody that's amazing on your roster that you love and you can get a specific strap for them, it's always good to make your best better, right? But I try and look long view, holistically at your roster, and is what you're doing today helping you for tomorrow? And I can't answer that on your roster because I don't know your roster, right? Like, so does it move the needle when you get this item? If it doesn't move the needle, then you probably don't want to really go for that item hard. You know what I mean? But if it does move the needle, if it improves something you're weak at by a lot, now that's something you want to go after, get to improve your roster. As you're constantly improving your roster, then it gets better and better and better and better. I'm always trying to improve my roster. Once you get to, you have a bunch of people that can do damage turn 1, now you're trying to do it faster. Faster people that can win turn 1, right? So there's like this progression where you're always growing your roster to hit hard enough to win. Like the first step is trying to win, right? We all want to win. Second step is probably trying to win on turn 1 to get faster, right? Third step is more characters to win on turn 1, and then finally you get to a point where now you're trying to pare it down to get the fastest winners on turn 1. So really, it's really hard to answer that question. It's also hard to like, one of the biggest mistakes I see is people ask a question, who should they level? Who's the better superstar? Right? And you might look at this and say, Hall of Fame JBL is better than Howdy, who is better than R-Truth, or who's better than Bubba. We'll use Bubba. So we'll say, maybe somebody says Howdy's clearly better than Bubba, and somebody says JBL is clearly better than Howdy. So JBL is way better than Bubba. Don't level Bubba. But you happen to have a yellow Royal Rumble plate for Bubba, and maybe you don't have any of the immobile stuff for JBL, right? The immobile trainers. I don't know. I'm just saying, maybe you don't have Hogan, Powerhouse. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, there's never really a clear-cut answer who's better on your roster. The answer is always, it depends. Always it depends. It depends on what you got. It depends on what your goals are. It depends on what you're trying to do in the game, right? Like, Hall of Fame Ron, I think, is a better striker than OTC right now. But in Faction Boss, OTC is probably better than Hall of Fame Ron across the board for sure. But Feud and Showdown, give me Hall of Fame Ron with what I have on my roster. But again, that's a lot of different things. So. Yeah. So Ron is amazing, Ben. I if you have the right stuff for Ron, I don't think anyone can argue he's like potentially the best feuder in the game right now, right? To you guys' point, Goldberg is I have my Goldberg at gold. I love him. Prize wall this week, very affordable. I'm gonna do a video on him tomorrow. It'll come out. 1 gear, silver gear. That's what I have for my Goldberg. If you don't have it, this is a really good gear. Goldberg's really good with this. Also, so yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that this week too. Just FYI. But yeah. Yeah, Ben, he's chef's kiss, right? Hall of Fame Ron? Yeah, Hall of Fame Ron's amazing with the right stuff. Mm-hmm. Best striker in the game right now. I think Yeet is the second best, but again, depends what you have. If you don't have Yeet gear and you have OTC, you probably like OTC more than you like Yeet, right? But if you have Yeet gear, then you're like, man, I'm Yeeting out here. Yeet's better than OTC. And then if you got Hall of Fame Ron with the stuff, you're like, man, I love Yeet with his gear, but Hall of Fame Ron is just one click and done. So the answer is always, it depends, right? The real answer. Ron, no, Ron just needs 1 gear to 1 click. 1 gear in the moment. Yeah, JBL is awesome. I actually really like Molly Holly. I like Goldberg. And I love Ron. This is the best year of Hall of Fame we've ever had. I actually like Molly a lot too, so. Okay, I guess before I record the preview, I should probably, you guys probably want to know about the code, huh? So let's record the code thing, and then we'll do the preview, so I don't forget about the code. Break loot box gems. I use Godfather. I did a video of it, Jamie, that makes it pretty easy. And there's a 6-star fuse for Godfather for 499 cash in the store. So here's the video. Right there's the link. All right, my part of the code, let me actually have to look because, you know, I'm anti all this giveaway stuffies because it's very distracting to me and I have a hard time staying focused anyway, as you guys know. You're like, Squirrel, and I'm like, where? Should probably get the right code too, huh? I don't think Purpa would be too happy with me if I didn't. You can't enter the code yet. I'm going to cover that in the video because people seem to be confused by this. So I don't know if it's not explained well. So you can ask questions. Squirrel? Where? So you guys can ask questions as we go, but I'll just post this here. Can you tell what that is? I thought I'd just be cute and put it on fire. Let me pull the portal up where we talk about the codes and how you can enter and all of that. Yeah, Ben, Z4. Mm-hmm. That's my portion of it. Professor has a video up from his code yesterday. I'll put a link to the description in this video. You can get his part of the code. DJ has one tomorrow. Thursday, I think, is Flex and 2Bob. Not sure if they'll both do a video or who or what, or just a stream. But Thursday's their part of the code on stream. And Friday is Champions chat. Rusty and Lee. You need 2 letters from all of them. So yeah, let me window capture, and we're gonna go to here, and let's shrink this down because we don't need all of my info here, do we? And fit the screen, and then we're gonna shut this off for now while we talk about this. So I'll explain the code a little bit. Move this page over here so I can see chat too, and so you guys can ask questions and I can see everything at the same time. All right, because there's a lot going on with this, so I'll read the little blog and then explain where you go to get, because you can get a bunch of entries. And yeah, I'm gonna do my intro and just talk right through it like always. So, you know, typical scrub recording. Hey everyone, Merrick's here, bringing you another video. Live on the Champions Twitch. It's my code day. I'll have the code at the end of this video. My portion of the code, let me clarify. I have two digits, numerals, numbers, letters, a combination of the above. At the end of this. Also, Professor had 2 yesterday. I'll put a link to the description of the video of his, and DJ has one tomorrow. He'll be streaming live on Twitch with the code, and if he does a video, which I think he's going to, I will also put a link in the description of this video. Thursday, I think, is 2Bob or Flex, or both on Twitch, and Friday is the Champs Chat guys, Lee and Rusty, just to keep you guys abreast of the situation. Yes, always looking for a way to say that word. So it's a You Can't See Me sweepstakes. There's a bunch of different ways to enter. I'm not going to read all of it. Long story short, you get a chance to win all available John Cena posters at 6-star gold. I believe they said, yeah, except Ghostbuster Cena in one bag. So there's a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd through 10th. Give you a bunch of stuff, but you get entries in different ways. You can visit champions.com, latest news and deals, blah, blah, blah. You can enter via Twitch, follow the Champions, WWE Champions on Twitch, on X, answer a WrestleMania question, enter the Champions stream code. Where to find pieces of the code? Well, on streams like this, you should be joining us on Twitch. Sometimes it's actually fun. Depending on who it is, they might even want you there. I may or may not want you there. Depends how annoying you are. Just kidding. Come and hang out. So, if you click on this little link down here, it's going to take you to this. It's got a neat, cute little video you can watch. Talks about the prizing again. There's 8 different ways to enter, guys. So you can click for bonus entries. You have to complete stuff it'll tell you. You have to complete one other action first. So visit champions.com once per day. You click this, and I'm assuming it's going to take you right there. You can sign up for a Twitch account and enter there. Follow Champions on Twitch. So you're just going to click all of these to enter your links. And finally, At the end, you will enter your code that you get from watching the streams. You'll get 2 pieces of mine, which I will tell you in a minute. You'll get 2 from the other ones. You'll have to enter them all in at once right here. So that's what you do. Chance to win free crap. For me, I think it's what's kind of neat about this is I get to, I don't collaborate a lot with my fellow content creators, but this gives me a good way of doing with that where there's a reason. So I can say, hey, go check DJ Anon ZT out on Twitch tomorrow. And I'm sure he's going to post a video that I'll link in here. Go watch him. And I could say the same about Professors Yesterday. Go check out his video. Support the content creators. You know, we are not the same, so it's a good reason to watch all of us. We have different points of view and things like that. Anyway, I won't preach at you. There's that. Really, the only reason you're watching this video is you don't care about what I have to say. You don't care about the Twitch stream. You just want your pieces of the code. So let's actually do that and bring up my part of the code. Mine's on fire, right? And it says, if you can't read it, my code is Z4, right? If you're watching this and you like Z4, because you like codes, you should like, subscribe, and share because it really helps me out. But if you're following me just for free stuff, then don't like, subscribe, and share. I actually don't want you to watch. But if you want to see champion stuff, that's a good reason. Anyway, this is a video. I'm done, so let's do an outro. And thanks for watching, guys, and good luck out there. Yep, Z4 is my code. Go get your stuff. Check the description for links to following code pieces scavenger hunt thingamajig. It's cool. You could win something. I can't, but you can. No problem, Sand. Right? We went blues. That's the goal of streams for me. Now we can set up what's up, Bill's Mafia? We can set up I'll show you guys what I do actually if you want to. If this part gets boring, we don't this is part of like doing a preview for me, how I do it or whatever, with the graphics and stuff. If this part gets boring, we don't have to do this. This can be an evolving thing. You don't necessarily know what I was gonna do. It's 2 letters, 5 streams, so 10 digits, whatever you want to call it. Where do you find the portion of the giveaway on the portal? Let me give you a link. 1 second. But you just click on the news tab. But here's a link. What's up, Chris? There's your link to that part of it. Which I'll put that in the video too, huh? Any advice on using new Alexa? Yes. She's fun. I like double purple with a trap plate. If not, you can run triple purple with the sub. But my video, she also hits super hard with not whale trainers with the multiply set with cascade risk. Recommend checking my video out. I think it's like 30 minutes long. You're going to have a metric crap ton of trainer and build options. You should be able to find something that fits for your roster, Greg. Okay, so you guys, if you've seen my previews, yes, they'll need to be entered in order. You know, I do the little graphics on the side and stuff, right? Amerik's ton. So like for Dvon, since it's a re-preview, we're going to do the sub build, one build. We're going to do the move damage build. And then we'll do the good build with a bunch of trainers where we, yeah, no problem, bud. If you want a link, I can get you one. But, yeah, it really depends what you have. Because, like with most things, you can run her a bunch of different ways, but it depends what you have, right? So we are going to do the move damage one first, and then we'll climb the trainer ladder. Start with lower stuff, progressive build, add better stuff as we go. That's how I like doing mine. What's up, Big Love? How you doing, man? Andrew, it is completely free and it's worth the same. You're welcome. But all seriousness, I'm back to streaming pretty much every day of the week, just not the weekend. On my channel, other than Tuesdays on here. So this is very similar to my kind of stream, although I use my account mostly on my stream, even though I have the silver account I can use. But a lot of running stuff for people, answering questions. Um, and don't forget to stick around if you want to vote on the next re-preview, because that's still coming today too. But a lot of stuff like that. And I'm gonna start, I think, on Thursdays. I'm gonna start doing a roster dive Thursday on my stream and recording it and posting that on YouTube. So if you want roster advice on Thursday, show up to my stream on my channel and you can be featured in a YouTube video. Hogan Plate, recommend it. Hogan Plate is good on Muscle Man Bray. Other than that, it's mostly a boss battle plate because it doesn't do anything on turn 1. So Muscle Man Bray is the best spot for the Hogan Plate. You can use it to some effectiveness on Rocky 76 for the move damage part because he can stun lock you, and then Striker KO, but it's going to take you a while to win with it on Striker KO. Yeah, exactly, Platinum Patrick, exactly. Yeah, right? Corntall coming in clutch, Chris. That helped a ton for Showdown. Um, good dude, that Corntall. Don't tell him I said that. So yeah, anyway, I screenshot this crap. It's a bit of a process. A lot goes into a video, sometimes that you may not maybe think about. And it might be boring, so you guys may change your mind on this, by the way, which is fine, because I really don't care how I do this. Let's go desktop. Where am I going to save this? Oh, I'll just save it on the one I just did. Move strap. Okay. No, but I'm re-previewing people, Big Love, that have changed completely since they released because of straps, not straps, because of like plates and trainers and coaches, and he's one of them. And you guys are going to get to vote at the end of each Tuesday stream who we do next. So, and then we're also going to raid Professor at some point when we're done with the end of the stream, and he's got giveaways for you guys, so you know. Yeah, just kind of a fun thing to do with Tuesday stream. Let you guys generate the content by picking, that sort of thing. What do you mean, Andrew? One true. I hate you. I did one Godfather video today. That's enough for a year. What do you mean by that, Andrew? I don't always. So S plus, I don't usually get for a while. The Chase like live equivalent, I typically always get. The A tier I always get, and I don't need to really spend to get those. To live, I do spend. I'm sure it's close if I didn't spend, so you know I might not get her. But S plus sometimes require more money than I'm willing to spend most of the time, even with a big roster. So I get shards at a good value, and then I shut it down is typically what I do. But that answer will vary completely between your faction, your roster, and how hard and efficiently you play things. Never completely standard. That's why I quit doing event breakdowns with saying where you can expect to get. Typically, the gold chest is where you can get, and then you can spend. Typically. Not always. You can get lucky, but yeah. Save as Fury Strap. Okay. Excellent. Now, the loadout ones. I won't save every loadout I used, because that'll take forever. But the middle lane alternative with no howdy is worth saving, so I'll screenshot that. And we'll definitely load that one up. This last feud had a ton of good shards on it. It was if like I was missing three different people with shards on it on my roster. So I thought it was a really, really good shard prize wall. Plus all of the shards for like Brawn that were super cheap, and then you had Howdy shards on there. I thought it was just a really, really great shard prize wall. Usually the shards are kind of meh. This one I thought was particularly good for most rosters. No, you know, if you got everything, no shard prize wall is good. And then all there was a yeet plate for you, so maybe you didn't like it. Like One True probably didn't like it because he's got like 18 yeet plates. Yeah. How many yeet plates you got now? I don't know. Lord knows. It's at least 8 probably now. Dexter and Julius. Yeah, that's a nice score. We're going to call this one middle lane. Bill? 7 or 8. Yeah, you got a ton. So yeah, you hated it. But you're very rare territory. And then we definitely are going to want to do this budget one too. And I'll save, this is what we're going to do. Actually, let me put the sub in. We'll use this for the sub build. Right. If one has everything, it's not the best prize wall for you. Correct. Yeah. So, Andrew, so I've done in 6 years, I don't know how many megas I've done. Hundreds, easily. Probably way more than hundreds. I don't know if it's in the thousands, but this weekend, was it this weekend? Was it this? Yeah. This weekend was the first time I ever pulled the featured on the weekend they released. I've recruited them on the weekend they came out through shards. I've pulled them directly after, like their weekend was over, and like their second loot, things like that. And this week, lightning struck twice. I pulled frickin' Jesse the Body at 6-star gold. What? And then I pulled Alexa on her debut weekend. I never pulled the featured, literally ever. And in my entire time playing, I've never pulled the featured on their week or weekend debut. And I did it twice. But otherwise, it's like your odds are minuscule of pulling them. If there's any big whales in here, they can vouch. They absolutely can vouch. You can pull do 10 megas and you won't hit the featured. You shard recruit them typically before you ever pull them. Yeah. Don't go into megas thinking you're gonna pull the featured, because you won't. You know? It's literally lottery odds. Yeah. Probably. Yeah, I've pulled more from bags than on featured weekends. This month. Shut up, One True. Jerk. Oh, no, I wasn't talking about elite loot. I was talking about weekend loot to hit the featured. Your odds are slim to none to actually hit it. Your best bet is to use megas as a vehicle to guarantee things. Milestones in events, like that, where you get a worthwhile something else, and the mega is just extra. I literally I won't buy a pull unless I'm okay with getting nothing from it. Literally, that's not a joke. I'm not exaggerating. No, you don't get coins in the career one until you get to a certain level, and now you get hardly any coins at all anymore. In the event one, I think you're just getting the prize wall currency at the very end based on your ranking, your final tier or whatever, if I'm not mistaken. Showdown, basically, don't worry about your showdown coins anymore. You're not getting them when you're playing. It's in milestones. You're just not getting them. So, yeah. So his moveset is bad, but we're still gonna show it because we need to. And I will try and keep these re-previews to 3 movesets as well. And then, like I said, after we record this, we will vote on who we do next week. And you guys can decide if you don't want me to record them in the future as well. You won't hurt my feelers. I don't care. Literally, it's all the same to me. Good point. Good point. Thank you, One True. I don't know what you mean by general. Which blitz is disappearing? I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry. You talk the Cena blitz, it'll be there all month. If it's disappearing, I don't know why. One with regular tickets? Was there one with regular tickets in the last month or this month? I don't remember one with regular tickets. Oh, you're asking why they don't use them? I don't know. They'll find something to use them with. Don't worry. They always do. Don't worry. All right. Move strap. Whatever. This has a purple, but I'll show it's a blue. I'll just pull this up here so you guys can see. They can see you guys talking on the video, bad mouthing me, other things like that. And then, oops, I don't want to do this on. Yeah, we'll just do it this way. It's fine. I'm gonna screw this all up anyway, so it's whatever. No one watches me for quality control, that's for sure. Right? You guys got better stuff to do than that. All right, move damage strap, and then we're gonna put our gem strap here. Shrink you. Sure. Then we're gonna put you, hide you, because we're not doing you first. Then we're gonna do the subset. That's not super exciting, but some people will have to at first. So in that sense, it's exciting. And then finally, we'll put the money setup, the big, bing, boom, 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 big. I know we got middle lane. And then we'll just change to, oh yeah, I didn't do the whale one yet. Let me get that one too. I think I must be like desensitized to that because I honestly don't notice anything in my inventory because I almost never look at it anymore because everything auto opens. So I think I'm kind of desensitized to that or something. And then we'll just go with this screenshot for this one. And then we should be good. Also, if you guys don't know, I record the previews when I record them in one take, and I don't cherry pick. That way, when crap goes wrong, you guys can see this stuff doesn't work, and then no one will ever question if I don't do cuts that I'm trying to fake you guys out, because you could do cuts and make stuff look a lot better than it is. That's for sure. Yeah. And last one, get this one in. If I forget to change my graphics through some of the builds, let me know in chat, because I will forget. I'm in memory of a goldfish. And that should cover everything. Close enough. Good enough. Good enough. We're going to go with that. Okay. Oh, yeah. How about for prize wall currency you forgot to spend too? Mm-hmm. Whirl. And then we'll vote for next week. You're Dory Finding Nemo. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That would have been a great. Oh, I should probably equip the right loadout. I'll do that while I'm starting the intro for the video. Yeah, I'll just follow through it while I set up the right build for this. What is it? Now I'm having intro talks with my outro talks. It's too much. It needs to stop. Hey everyone, Merrick's here, bringing you another video. This one is a re-preview. It's a new thing I'm doing on Champions Chat every Tuesday. Come show up. We're doing re-previews of older superstars that have become viable to very good with new trainers and new plates and stuff. And at the end of each stream, you get to vote on who I do the following week. So come hang out on Tuesdays on the Champions Twitch, the official channel. And we're going to do that. Today is Dvon. It's going to be a preview of 3 move sets for him. The move damage one we're going to run first just doesn't scale anymore. I'm going to show you that. It's 100% move damage strap, takedown 2s, blue move damage metal. Entourage for this is, as far as I can tell, this is the best entourage you can run, period, for this move set. We got Pat Patterson for 2 blue, 100% blue. Move damage, we got one of the head shrinkers. I think it's Fatu Powerhouse. 2 blue MP, so we have 4 total. 1 for our turn is 5, 50% blue move damage. Then we got Gooker for 75%, and Honky Tonk Hall of Fame for 40%. And as you can see, the moves: 5 MP, Corkscrew Elbow, 259k, increase your blue moves damage by 80% for 1 turn. Headbutt drop, 5 MP, 219k damage, choose a 3x2 area to swap into blues. Was up, 10 MP finisher, 890k damage, make 39 random gems into red gems, pin the opponent. So that's what we're going to run with. We're going to go against probably Sammy here on the road, because this does not do a ton of damage. As, of course, as you know, lately in feud, last 3 feuds has been 40% health buff with the free steps. So big health pools in feud these days. I was also live recording this on the Champions Twitch channel. You can see Jack there is throwing Merrick's emotes and Big Love's yeeting. He's yeeting all over the place. He's saying hi to his mom. He's YouTube famous. Other people are making fun of my memory, which I support. You can see, though, basically starting out, he's at 1.8 million, 1.5 million, and 6 million before the boof. After boof, it's not great still. And you can see we're 2.8 million and 11 million, but we can get the boof again if I don't cascade. No guarantees or promises, because it's me. We don't cascade. That's great. Fantastic. So now we can hit the boof again. And Sammy started at what, guys? Like, was it like 60 some million, 60, right around 60 million health? We're not going real far. If we hit this, we can do more damage, but then we can't refill the moves, and then we're hung out to dry. And we're only hitting 16 million on the finisher. So it's no guarantee. And because it's a takedown set, these reds aren't doing an exceptional amount of damage. So I'm just going to hold that move. And you can see it's a really small pin, 19 million, 1 swipe, he kicks out. Obviously, this is not getting it done these days, right? In no way, shape, or form can you take this into a gold feud and run with this. With what we have in the game currently, you can throw his move damage set straight out the door. So this is a pretty easy one to forget about for the re-preview. Interestingly enough, though, this is about how hard he would hit. At 6-star bronze, just slightly less. And when he came out, I believe 6-star silver was the cap. And against 6-star silver, you could get stuff done this way. In this case, I would hit the move and not place it, because we should be able to get close to zeroing him. Anyway, against a striker without boosted health, you can win and come close to zeroing them in 2 cycles. So super not ideal, right? So obviously that's not going to get it done. Move damage is not the way to go. We kind of knew that, but we had to try it. So what if you don't have maybe crazy plates and all that kind of stuff? You can still run triple purple to okay effect. It's safer because you drain their MP. However, you see a lot more sub reversals, so it's not ideal. But before you get crazy stuff, and good stuff even, you have to rely on subs a lot. So we're going to run the triple purple. with friendly-ish trainers. Zombie Brett is maybe not super friendly, but any other zombie would work. So Zombie Chelsea, Brett is just the better choice, as he gives 40% to purple as well. We're going to switch to 100% gem damage strap here real quick. And then we're going to switch to triple purple. Boom. Seated rear chinlock sub. Testify. The sub is 6. Testify is 7. And Saving Grace is also 7. Triple purple. The sub is 33 rando sub gems, 262k, 3 turns, remaining turn into color turn gem. Saving Grace is awesome. It's a Saving Grace, you might say. Make 11 random color turn gems into multiply gems of strength 7. It's a hardcore, so if it's a showboat, you also make an additional 11 into multiply gems of strength 9. And then Testify, make 35 random gems into purple gems. Entourage, like I said, going to be more friendly. So Gunther Tech, Woods, that gets you loaded and feud with 1 to spare for your turn, so they can have 1 MP down and you're still going. Purple gems do 40% more damage, and 60 multiply from Brett, and 60 multiply from Gunther. I will show you this against a striker and a showboat. It does pretty well. Yes, I am definitely the Cascade King, but I survived Copperhead. Yeah, definitely gross on the move damage. And you guys can feel free to chime in with your thoughts or comments on these, or like, you know, this is stupid, I would never run this particular build. Also, downside to color turns, you can see they can possibly cascade at the wrong time. And you see Sammy, even though we used a sub because he got a black match, is close to being filled. Another reason why I don't like relying on subs, because bad things can happen. But damage-wise, we hit for 28 million. That's not bad. It's going to be probably a 2-cycle win with a theoretical drain, but as you can see, theory doesn't always play out. Not ideal, but no plates. For a plate that you might be likely to have, All Heart would be the plate to go with this. It'll add 100% purple gem damage. And then the Acolyte Ultimate plate, I believe, adds 75% gem damage on the sub. So you could pick up an additional 175% gem damage on these multiplies, which would be something worth noting. So most likely you get those plates, you got these trainers, you're looking at 2-cycle wins in feud, showdown, etc. That was 35 mil better, right? I think with the 2 plates I was talking about, you could probably push up to 40-ish mil, I would say, on a striker potentially, if you keep your color turns on the board. But where Dvon shines at lower levels is against specifically showboats. When I show you him maxed out, he's way more than just a showboat killer, but the showboat killing is quite impressive. So definitely stay tuned for more. So pretty easy gameplay loop though. It's just the sub, and then you're gonna get double the multiplies. Boom. Bunch of multiplies. They're also too bigger against the showboat. We don't have many purples, so we may miss some multiplies here. And we did. We missed 3. But still, that was 50 million against a showboat. So you strap that up with All Heart and the Acolyte subplate, you might push like 65-ish, I think, on something like that on a good one. So it runs. It's not necessarily ideal, but it still runs. So then we finally move to where it starts to get kind of really exciting, I think. I'm going to start with this same trainer setup, but I'm going to change one move. I'm going to take the sub out, and we're going to drop in the leaping shoulder block. 1 MP, 315k damage, choose 5x7 to make into color turns. And I'm just going to show you what this does on a showboat straight up without adding any plates before we get into more rare stuff, right? So you can see what simplified or more friendly trainers would potentially do, is the right way of saying that. And you can see no chance of losing the color turns here. Nothing can go wrong because you're not in a sub. However, you don't drain them. But you can see turn 1, no plates. This setup, you could expect on a showboat 50 mil, which is pretty good. Non-showboat, you're going to do more like 28 to 30 like we saw. To keep it decent time restrictive, I'm not going to run that one on a non-showboat. If you're running this, you should probably stick to showboats, I would say. But really, if you're running this, you should probably stick to triple purple. So let's move on before I get to the really whaley stuff. This you can run quite effectively if you have a middle lane. And people always ask, what's a middle lane? Yeah, Big Love, not bad base. What's a middle lane is the middle lane has a 1 MP boost that's multicolor. Lately, the middle lanes have been very friendly. So you have 1 extra MP to start with. This also would work if you have 1 MP on a bottom lane, because Woods gives you 4 MP, right? Your turn gives you 1 for 5. Santa gives you 1 for 6, and then the middle lane gives you 1 for 7. So you would start completely loaded, and you trade Gunther for Mosh, who is very available. He's a free to play one for sure. And Mosh makes a huge difference because now we're making 16 and 16 gems, and then this becomes Santa. And again, this is no plates, but it does require a lane boost, so worth noting, either a bottom with purple or any middle lane. And this is what this will do against a showboat for you with no plates. Don't mind me. I forgot I don't have perks like you wouldn't in Feud unless you have a middle lane. So you can basically ignore everything you saw there. It's fine. I'm terrible at this game. And now we'll start it. Since we don't have plates, the color turns don't matter. All the damage would be exactly the same. Everything's good. Trust me. Hear me now, believe me later. No surprise. Anyway, what happens is this with Mosh. You're going to get a crap ton of multiply gems everywhere. All but 2 are going to be multiply gems in that area of color turns. And then you're going to hit for the big boom. I am, Jamie. I really am. And by big boom, that's a 80 million gem damage with no plates on a middle lane with fairly friendly trainers on a showboat. I'll go ahead and show you that one on a non-showboat because I think that one's worth it because, you know, ideally you're going to play him against a showboat, but it's nice to be able, when someone doesn't have a showboat, to fall back on someone else to kill. So the question is, can he get enough done eventually where you can do both reliably? The answer is yes. I already know the answer, by the way. Same thing. Let's just, okay. There we go. Middle lane would have you filled. Let's see how we do against Zombie Sammy. And if I'm going through this kind of fast on stream, we went through this like much slower. We actually did a really good breakdown on move damage and stuff today. It was a lot of fun. There's a ton of information about the game you can pick up. I learned on my streams too from chat. That one we missed a bunch of multiplies, still hit for 31 million. Not where we need to be yet without plates, right? So I'll just show you the souped up version real quick, and then with trainers. And then we'll put on the plates and I'll show you, I'll run it without, I'll run it with a bunch of different things, right? So, or trainers, because it'll go fast. So, essentially, this is the souped up version. Leo and Brett are almost interchangeable, to be honest. It's super, super close. It's within like 1 million or 2 damage for the most part. Really not a big deal. To be honest. So you can substitute Leo as Zombie Brett. Howdy's what really makes it go. And then NOD Rock is nice, but Howdy is the big difference maker because you're getting 6 more multiplies, right? You're all loaded up. Everything is great and groovy. I'll run this one once, then we'll put plates on. The plates you're going to use in the primary plate is the Dvon's glasses. That one's pretty obtainable, honestly. That one does 50% extra gem damage. It's not huge, so I won't show you with just that. Because it doesn't make a huge difference, but it did on a showboat, as I recall, add about 5 million for us, damage. So it's not nothing. It's definitely a significant amount. Same would go for if you have 150% strap, but you can see this setup does 42 million, on Sammy. You've already seen this on a showboat with lesser trainers hit for 80. I think we were doing like, I want to say like 90 on showboats with this without plates. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But I think it was like 90-ish with that version. And in Leo or Brett, it's very similar. I'll just go ahead and put Brett on now for the rest of it. I just wanted to show Leo, but Brett is really, really close. And then I'll put the 2 plates on. This is where he gets really great. And I think you're in for a treat if you haven't seen it. I have my Dvon at gold, and I run this setup on him that I'm going to show you currently. So now I just need to find the plate, which is always a struggle for me. That went pretty smoothly. So Dvon specs: make 6 or more color turn gems, increase all your gem damage by 50% for 1 turn. And then the big boy, as it were the Punk's gauntlets: 6 color turn gems, 500%. That's 550% extra gem damage on big ol' multiplies. Yeah, that's significant. So here we go. Let's bring the pain. Yeet, as Big Love said. We yeetin'. And this is again on a non-showboat, so I think you'll be impressed. I think this will play for you, and this is like worst case scenario when you can't go against a showboat. There's also a feud moment for the Dudleys that I'm not showing in this, so you can hit harder than you're going to see here with the feud moment. We missed some multiply gems, we still hit for 90 million, and we missed 3 of the multiplies, and that's not against the showboat. So wait till I show you this against showboat. It's also fast and efficient. And as you guys know, showboats can be a problem with their health in feud. This definitely fixes that. Actually, use this all last feud. There was a boost for sure that was affecting him, and I was hitting ridiculously hard. I'll tell you the number after you see his actual number here. We missed 3 multiplies and hit for 185 million. That's with 100% strap and Fury 2s. Last feud, I had boosts, right? Because I had Alexa, so I was hitting for over 300 million last feud on showboats. It's really, really good. Dvon this way, my opinion, one of the best acros in the game. I think he's really good. It's pretty fast. Punk is super good too. Gauntlets are great on Punk. Punk's probably slightly better for the gauntlets because he's got the unblockable move damage with it, but he's really, really good. And he's a fun era, and I'm a Dvon mark, so I literally think he's one of the better acros with this. Hits incredibly hard against showboats, which is one of the more worrisome ones with HP. And as long as we're talking about the Punk's gauntlets, my top 4 for the spots for it is Acro Dvon, Acro Punk, Trickster Liv, and Striker Naya. After that, the potential falls off a lot. There are other places you could put it. The next best would probably be New Gen Seth, but I don't love it there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this re-preview. We're going to do another one next Tuesday. Not sure yet. We're going to vote right now after recording this. And come hang out on Twitch, guys. It's a lot of fun. I like having people hang out and talking about the game and stuff. So every Tuesday on the Champs channel is the re-preview. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. On that, guys, good luck out there. I think we need to get some tables now, guys, because Dvon's ready to go. We need to get some tables. Okay, I was trying to rush that because I know we're getting close to the time. So let's vote now. Let me throw some up to vote. I'm not sure how many the people will let me put, and then we'll raid Professor. But I will put up, I can put 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put 5. So I'm going to grab 5 off of the spreadsheet that you guys listed and put them in the poll. Who re-preview next? And if your person doesn't get picked, no big deal. We can ask, we can do it again next time. I really liked Raquel. We're going to put Raquel on there. That way we have at least one lady, and she's super relevant. I also really, really liked Showboat KO because a lot of people have him. we'll get at least one older one. So we got Raquel as a Yeet drip combo potential. So I don't want to go a ton of just those. We'll get one a little bit older one though. Let's go WCW Ray, because he's really old. But his gears are available now. And then we will throw Powerhouse Austin, because he's a bit newer. Let's do Powerhouse Austin. And then Hollywood, because a lot of people have Hollywood and he's an important trainer. All right, I'm going to put this up for a quick 3-minute vote. Poll is started now. You should be able to see it at the top of the stream. You just click on the poll and you can pick who's next. So you got Raquel, Showboat KO, WCW Ray, Powerhouse Austin, and Hollywood up there to choose from. And then when this is done, we will raid Professor. I want to say thank you guys a lot. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this format. It's cool to have a bunch of you hanging out. Also, if you're late getting here, flash it one more time. My part of the code is somewhere here. This one? And here, there we go, right there, Z4. So far, we got Showboat KO and Hollywood tied at 7, Raquel at 5 on the votes. I don't know if I'll do an infinite build because I don't like them, but I might. We'll do it on stream. As always, user-generated content I feel like is usually the best, or watcher-generated content. So, you know, we get me playing it on stream and you guys want to see something, I'll do it. My part of the code, jerk. I'll have a video on it if you don't understand what that means. Hollywood's winning at 8, Showboat KO at 7, Raquel at 5, Ray at 1, Austin at 1. A little bit of time left to go in the poll. It's about a minute left, I would say. So you still have a chance to vote. It's my part of the code. There's 5 parts, all on Twitch, all different content creators. I think most of us are also going to do videos on it. DJ will have his code tomorrow on the stream. Professor had his yesterday. Professor has a video on it. Be a link to Professor's video in the description of my video. Hollywood's winning 10. Showboat KO 7. Raquel at 5. 1-1. There's like probably 45 seconds to a minute yet left. We're going to raid Professor. Get that raid going. Hollywood is not my normal style, so that'll be interesting. I will count on you guys to help me with that. Right on, Roger. You have a good evening too. I'm glad the weather's awesome. Thanks, We Went Blues. Appreciate it. It's 10-8. Looks like Hollywood's gonna win unless there's a last surge. King Booker, get out of here, Chris. Get out of here. Oh, 10-9. There's like a few seconds left. It's 10-9. And Hollywood wins 10-9. I should probably screenshot that just so you guys can see. I will screenshot it and put that up because that is worth it. Edit. I would have chosen Showboat KO. I didn't want to influence the vote, though. There you guys can see it. There you go. Just by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Speaks for a good chance for Showboat KO next week, though. Oh, right on, We Went Blues. Thank you. We're going to raid Professor now, guys. Good luck winning stuff. Take care, Copperhead. Had a lot of fun. We'll do it again next week. I'll be on my channel tomorrow. Might be a little bit late. I have something planned for about an hour, so I might start at 3:30. I think it's going to take about an hour. You guys will like what's planned, though. Don't worry. More on that to come. I promise. But I got it. It might be an hour late. Go fight Z Sammy. I know what you're trying to do. Copperhead. You're trying to get me again. Yeah, see you tomorrow, jerk. We're going to raid Professor. Have a good night, guys. Again, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. I hope this new format ends up going well, because I think it's going to be fun.